Another tip, time to put the back on using finishing nails. Just snip the very head off the nail, mount it in the drill, pre-drill, perfect size pilot holes for your nails. As you can see, the original plan had called for, I'll just get them and show you. The original plan had called for this. Unfortunately, this oak is very, I don't know, brittle, shatters easily. Having to use a big template bit, with the pieces being so thick, it just grabbed and shattered a piece off, so I gave up on that, and much to my own disappointment, and just came up with a simple post and beam like this. Again, I'm using loose tenons, and they're all ready. So the next thing now is to sand them, get them all sanded up, because once they're glued they're going to be difficult to sand, so get them all sanded up and then it's glue them together, and then we're nearly finished. Okay, everything's been sanded down to 180 grit, each side is 9, and all of these. Now, because using loose tenons you don't always get it perfect, I always mark the outside, so I've got a little mark there, and I know that's the face side. It just means I can clean up and finish all the the sanding, and not have to worry about putting it together the wrong way round, because with loose tenons, because I'm only using the router from one side, and yes, I've centered it, but it may not be perfectly centered, and it doesn't matter with a loose tenon as long as you keep your faces the same. Anyway, time to glue up. Okay, I'm ready to put the these on, and what I've done is marked them out, used a spacer block to get the distance whilst using a giant square to make sure it's level. Okay. And then coming up this way with that on the edge, I've gone to the hole and lined that up with the hole on the inside like that, so that all comes down to there just like that. Okay, so that's how I'm going to set the two out. What I've done is I've come around and I've marked it where it's going to sit with a pencil. Now I'm going to put 4 holes down through here, clearance holes. That means the screws won't touch the sides, they'll slide in and out. Remember, your holes, clearance holes, have to be the same thickness as the thread. And so I'm going to drill these out. I'll just put a small bead of glue in there, not a lot, and then I'll come in from underneath. I'll bolt that down with some clamps to hold it exactly where I want it, and then I'll just put some pilot holes in and drive the screws in, and I'll do that on both sides. Okay, the uprights are fixed. I put the top on and I bend round with the square, making sure that everything lines up perfectly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with a mechanical pencil, a very fine one, and I'm just going to mark where these supports are. It's a bit difficult actually because I've rounded the corners. I think I'll use the square to get them back on where they were. Okay. Right, the next thing to do now is to we need to make the arms. The arms will sit in there and cantilever. So we'll need some material. I'm going to use 1-inch material for that. And we'll need a piece that's 40 mils. I want it to extend a little bit further than here, so I'm actually going to make it and come in 30. From there I will come in 30, so it's 300, 330. I might just take it level with there. Okay, so 310, because that's 340 minus 30 is 310. So I'll go and dress some timber down to that size and get it ready to be shaped, and then we'll come back again with the next step. Okay, these have been cut down to length and size, and they're going to fit here like this, and then, as I say, there's the pivot point there. So the next thing to do is we'll use a block to clamp them at the right height. Going to pre-drill with pre-drill a number of screws coming down, which will be deep bored so that they can get down through, and get these ready to attach to the top. when I actually attach them to the top, what I'm going to do is, I have the top all there, I'm going to put a piece of double folded sandpaper, actually a single folded sandpaper between them, just to create a bit of a gap when I join the two, that to there, so it's not going to chafe. So I need to mark out the pivot point, which will be clamping all this together, level, exactly where I want it, and then I'm just going to go through and just put a mark on the inside so that I know, then I'll go to the drill press and drill them out properly. So we'll go ahead and start all that, and I'll come back and show you the progress. Okay, we've got these fitted now. I haven't put them off the length yet. There's a little bit of hand sanding because I couldn't get them in the chuck, the drill, but they're in, tested, and they're just slightly proud of the arm, just very slightly. I did actually have to come in here with a plane and just touch up the tops, like this one, just this end was a little bit high, this was sort of like the whole length, but that's all sitting nice and evenly now. So we're nearly there. Take these off. And now to drill some holes down here for mounting screws on each one, and when I go to drill them in, I'm going to use a ruler as a spacer, so I can do that, and then I can come up and mark where the holes are, the screws. I don't want them coming in and chafing against that, so we just leave a ruler space. Alright, there we have it. And one lift up top. Become a bench, become a table. Right, the next part of it really is just to do the final sand on the two tops, just down to 180 grit, and then it's dyeing. I want this a dark oak, I don't want it to look brand new, and then final finish. So I'll get back to you when they're ready for the dyeing. Oh, by the way, tried to get up there to mark the holes once it was a ruler clamped in, back clamped to that, and then with it closed so that you could get the top on. It was quite difficult. I actually had to, I can't find my needle nose pliers, so I had to get a drill bit, pair of pliers, hold on its side, and then the hammer on the flat and just give it a tap to mark a couple of holes. It was a bit of a pain, but anyway, it works. Right, onward and next wood. Okay, I made a boo-boo. These were meant to be 10mm pilot holes. I forgot to change out the 16mm bit I had in the drill press. So now I haven't got a plug cutter that's the right size, so get a piece of wood, spin it, rough chopped it with a chisel, and then using the disc sander, just take it down till you get a good fit, glue it in, chop it off. So yeah, there's always a way to fix something, and yeah, let's face it, we all make mistakes. Don't throw it away, fix it. Okay, last one, and all we're doing is just running it round Then we try it in the hole. Too big. And back to the disc sander. Back in the hole. Okay, started to go in the hole. Now I don't know if you can see it, but you'll see here, I'll just run it round in the hole. There's a high spot, polished spot there, 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 and there. So we'll just take off those polished spots. Try it again. Wiggle it in, polish there, there, there. Try it again. Just put it in the hole, spin it around. What you're wanting to see is polished right, a polished spot right round it. Nearly there. Just about. This stage, very light pressure. And there we go, that looks good. Got enough depth, bit of glue. Tap with a hammer, and about the only time I ever use this thing is for this. And there we have it. When that's dry, we'll just go over there with a plane, knock those down all smooth again, and we're ready to go. So, problem fixed. Right, here we are. Stains on. I've only done one coat. I actually thinned the dye down because I wanted a chance to get a build up the colour, but I'm actually happy with this anyway. So that's the first bit done. I'll go and do the other pieces, and then we'll be ready to start, you know, putting some shellac on. But I think it's coming up quite nicely. Okay, here it is. It's 2 coats of shellac on now, and you know, we're starting to see the finished product. The top's just here, and over there over there is the seat. So starting to look like a product now. 2, maybe 3 more coats of shellac on it, and then it will be ready to put it all together. And here it is, finished product. And with the lid up. Here we are. I know you didn't get to see me doing all the sawing and cutting and thicknessing and planing and all the rest of it, but I mean, how many times do you need to watch somebody cutting wood? But there it is, it's all assembled, and it looks good. I think my wife's going to be very happy with that. So all I need to do now is rub a bit of wax on it and put it in the house. Anyway, I hope you got something out of that about different techniques. As I say, this is something we saw in an antique shop. My wife liked it. They wanted $1,500 for it, and I thought no. And so you know, once we were, as I say, you saw my initial drawing, which was just a layout. I worked out how high I wanted it, and then made the carcass, then made the tops, made the legs. Yeah, so that, because if you start with plants, everything's all measured out exactly, I guarantee it won't fit when you go to put it together. So I start, and then I basically make it up as I go. Yeah, I guarantee that I'm probably within a couple of millimeters of where I originally said, but you know, you never know until you really try these things. Anyway, that's the end of the video, and I hope you got something out of it. Cheerio.